What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So the results of this year's Texas Pro Men's Open Bodybuilding are now out. And Jordan Hutchinson makes it 2 for 2. And not only just won this show, he did not leave any doubts that he was head and shoulders above Quinton Beastwood and the entire competition at this show. Because contrary to Tampa Pro, where these two guys were just 1 point apart, especially during the prejudging, well, here in Texas, Jordan just slammed the door shut on Quinton Beastwood and all the other guys in both the sessions. And I do not think you guys will be surprised to hear that Joseph Palacios aka Joe the Machine, he came in second beating Quinton Beastwood. And just like I mentioned after the prejudging, that do not be surprised if Joe places higher than third here. And that is exactly what he did. And that too in such a competitive lineup. So the same thing as Tampa Pro must have happened with Quinton Beastwood here, where he kind of got flattened out, especially during the finals, because Joe was clearly in second place after the finals, when he was behind Quinton by 1 point after the prejudging. So Joseph Palacios has really transformed himself into a complete monster with the help of Justin Compton, because for those of you guys who do not know, the last show that he did, that was Cali Pro last year. And he placed 15th at that show. And that wasn't a show with a very deep lineup. The only big names in that show, they were Tonio Burton and Emir. So he also won the most muscular award tonight. And if this man continues to diet, he's gonna be one of the favorites to win the upcoming European shows. And he can 100% qualify for the Olympia this year. So if there was also an award for the best back double biceps, that also would have gone to Joseph. What an absolute freak of nature this man is. So crazy results for Jordan Hutchinson. This is one of those rare instances where an RBB pro looked mind-blowing in all of his progress pictures leading up to the show. And that actually perfectly translated onto the stage. And there actually won't be any exaggeration in saying that he is one of the most ripped guys in the entire men's open right now. Not just here at Texas Pro, but on the Olympia roster too. So I for one cannot wait to see him with the big boys come October. So Quinton Beastwood must have been extremely disappointed here with the results. And the reason I'm saying that is because he came here with a lot of hype and with a strong determination to win this show. But we are kind of still having the same discussion about Quinton that we were having about 2 years back. That although the man is very aesthetic, very pretty, one of the most beautiful structures out there, but still not big enough, especially in the hamstrings and the adductors. And that again really hurt him here. The lack of density in the chest and the shoulders area, the lack of fullness, the lack of detail, and that area looking kind of smooth. That also hurts him big time, especially standing next to two guys who had the most craziest chest development in this year's Texas Pro, Jordan and Joseph. So Quinton, without a shadow of a doubt, has the most ideal structure. One of the most beautiful physiques ever. But men's open, we all know, is always gonna be about more size, more thickness. And it's always gonna be about having that crazy amount of density. And Quinton is still lacking that. Now it is gonna be very interesting to see whether Quinton continues with his diet and does the upcoming Italy show, or is he gonna shut it down, go for another improvement season, and maybe come back next year. So John Jewett got the exact same placing in Texas as he did in Tampa, a clear 4th place, although he did bring a more drier and a more detailed package here. But that being said, we have to keep in mind, this was a very deep lineup. The great thing about Texas Pro is that, if you look at the scorecards, the judges actually scored both the sessions independently. So that is why you're gonna see guys moving up and down in their placings based on the final scores. And the biggest example here is Emir and Bruno Santos switching spots, with Emir cracking top 5, pushing Bruno Santos to 6th place. Now, interestingly, their scores, they were level at the finals. But for those of you guys who do not know the rule, the guy who places ahead during the finals, he places higher, in case it's a tie. Now, no disrespect towards Bruno Santos or Patrick Moore. I think both are great bodybuilders, but the way these shows are getting fully stacked, so much new talent coming in, and all these young guys improving at such a fast pace, it's gonna be so difficult for so many of these guys to get back on the Olympia stage one more time. Because just look at Joseph Palacios, who just came out of nowhere and he shocked the entire bodybuilding world. So Carrot Baggio, a former 212 Olympian, placing top 7 in the men's open debut, beating Beef Stew and Patrick Moore. That is such a big deal for him. He really showed the world that he is a much better bodybuilder without that weight cap. So this was also an overall improved package from Patrick Moore compared to what we saw at Tampa Pro and also in comparison to the Legion Sports, where he placed second behind Tonio Burton. But despite that, he ended up in 9th place. Now, Patrick has some of the best X-frame in the current open bodybuilding. But considering the fact that he's 41 years old, it's gonna be very tough for him to place very high, especially in these kind of shows where there are multiple Olympians and multiple top guys competing. So he did look improved from Tampa Pro here. But this was too big of a lineup for Patrick to fight for the top spots. I mean, he did not even place in the first call out. Now, I personally think that some of these guys, they should have gone for the European shows to have a much better shot at earning their Olympia spot, or at the very least, placing high. Overall, this was such an amazing show. Great lighting, amazing production, which allowed all the competitors to showcase their best look on the stage. So one question, what are your thoughts on Quinton? What does he need to do in order to get his first pro win and qualify for the Olympia? Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So most of you guys who have been following Classic Physique for a while now, they must be familiar with this name, Alex Cambronero, a former Arnold champion in Classic. And before guys like Urs and Ramon and Terrence, they became some of the biggest names in Classic, Alex was placing as high as top 4 at Mr. Olympia level. But then the age factor came in, and his physique started declining. And also the fact that Classic Physique, it got so much more competitive. But his passion for competing, that is still there. And this is now second time in his career that Alex won the title of the Masters Olympia, and that too quite comprehensively. So congratulations to him, and with this win, he is now eligible to compete at this upcoming Mr. Olympia in Classic Physique come October. So in the 212 division of the Masters Olympia, Samir Terudi, he dethroned the reigning Masters Olympia of the 212 and the Japanese legend Hitedada Yamagashi, and this was the biggest title win of Samir's entire career. Now it is so unbelievable to see Hitedada is still competing at the highest level at the age of 52 and still looking so damn good. For those of you guys who do not know, he has been competing as a pro for almost 2 decades now. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.